Ready for today's quiz. Now, I was going to throw this at you, and I thought, well, I wouldn't let you look at your computers, but maybe since we've got such a small group here today, and for those that aren't here, then shame on them, right? I might let you look these up. Okay. First question. So I told some of these guys too, we might make this one a little more valuable even. So, okay, first question is this. Well, I want to just briefly look at our performance today. If you kind of look at that, we're up $1,475. Good day for me. Supposed to meet my wife down at the brewery a little later. Might be able to afford a beer. Thank goodness. It's all right. Maybe, yeah. Actually, I got enough. I think down at Old Station, if you get enough stamps, you get a free beer, and I think I got plenty to get a free beer, so I'm sitting in good shape. Anyhow, so the market did well today, and it really turned around, and it did so mainly for one reason, and that's the basis. I brought that up. That's the basis for my first question. What's the current unemployment rate?
Do we need precise 1 decimal or 2 decimals?
1 decimal to the right, or one place to the right of the decimal.
Oh boy.
Current unemployment rate. Yeah, I said I'll be nice. I'll let you use your computers and look it up. The reason the first Friday of every month is called Jobs Friday. If you watch any of the financial channels, because the first Friday of every month they report the jobs for the prior month. The exception to that might be if that Friday falls on the very first, but I'm not sure. I have to go back and look at that. And that's often why there's subsequent revisions, because they can just make their best guess. If it's the 2nd of October, whatever it might be, it's kind of difficult to make estimates about what the prior month was. But okay. Kind of a part of that question, so just kind of added bonus here. I won't take off even if you don't know this, but when was the last year that it was that low? I'll tell you that we're in kind of uncharted territory almost in terms of unemployment rates. You guys are getting close to graduating too. If you looked at the unemployment history for the last 50 or 60 years or whatever, if you found the peak of that, when the unemployment was the very worst, that's about the time I graduated from college, just to give you some perspective. We were begging for jobs. You guys have, 20 employers each begging you to go to work, so a little different. Okay, next question. So when they report the jobs, they tell how many jobs were created in the prior month, how many jobs were created in the month of September, total. How many total? Sometimes they'll break that down. They'll break it down by private sector jobs, but I want total. They'll call it total non-farm payrolls is what they call it actually.
What was question number 2?
Question number 2 is when was the last time the unemployment rate? 3 is how many jobs were created last month in the month of September. Total non-farm payrolls. It's actually what the number they would report. I bring those up, and it's not just an exercise of just randomness. It kind of fits. I mean, a financial manager's job, and a lot of people in any industry, managers, et cetera, they look at this stuff pretty closely. You know, they'll follow it more so than you would if you're a typical college student. Okay, you get out in the real world and you kind of follow this stuff because you kind of want to know, right?
For 2019, right?
We're 2019
How many jobs have been created?
for last month, just
Oh,
last
yeah.
month, the month of September. Total non-farm payrolls created the month of September. And the reason, I mean, there's lots of reasons that's important. Number one is because obviously if people are trying to hire folks, it's nice to know what the demand is or what the supply is, I guess you would say, out there. But it also has huge impacts on other things like interest rates, et cetera. The fact that this jobs report was pretty decent maybe means the Fed's not going to increase it or not going to decrease interest rates. Everybody thinks they might be decreasing interest rates because it was yesterday they came out with the ISM report for services, and that was down. So the market went trash until later in the day when everybody thought, well, geez, now the Fed's going to lower rates, so that's good for the market. And so then later in the day, the market turned around and went up. So sometimes bad news is good news, and sometimes good news is good news. When you follow the markets, there's no there's no rhyme or reason. So the best thing is to kind of try to tune some of that out a little bit, at least in terms of your investing philosophy. Okay, that's it for the questions. So you guys can prepare those and hand them in. Then today what's due is your Chapter 8 assignment quiz. All right, those should both be completed. And then also your, what are we on? Additional inputs and sales forecasts, right? So make sure you double check those. Today would be a really good day to ask me to double check them before you turn them in if you want to. That's kind of why we're here on a Friday, before you turn them in. Tonight, 7 o'clock, we got volleyball. I got my volleyball shirt on, so I'm ready to go. Okay, at 7 in the gym against Rocky, and Rocky's pretty good, so we'll have our work cut out for us, but it's all right. I like good competitive matches. Any questions, general questions? If you got specific questions, I'll come around and help you out, but are there any general questions about? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to close out of this and